Welcome, friends, to the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour with your hosts, Sig Bisley and Colt Mauser. Before we get started, please be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. Now, let the animation appreciation commence.
Holidays are over, friends. It's back to work.
Boo.
That means it's back to watching anime, apparently.
Yay? Depends.
So today, we went back. We didn't really get into it too deep last time. We just did kind of an overview. So we're doing one movie at a time. We're going to go back over the Evangelion movies because I kind of want to watch them again anyway.
So 1.11, you are not alone.
Apparently.
Uh-huh.
Apparently. So that, we finally watched the JUJUTSU KAISEN movie.
Yeah, JUJUTSU KAISEN 0 finally came out in easy to watch style over here. So
Yeah, I didn't have to hunt it down.
no sailing the high seas. Legit.
For once.
Ah.
And then you had
Alice
something?
in Borderland. The Netflix show, not the anime or I believe it's a manga. So not either of those.
Probably.
Just the live action and just the first season. So I watched the whole first season, figured I'd talk about it, and then I could watch the second season. I could talk about that too.
And whatever wrapped up.
Nah, it's not much.
I think I got two things.
A few shows. Yep.
That's about it. But before any of that, a little bit of news.
Hey man, the news. Man, it's so low key right now. Let's make it less
Yeah,
low-key.
it's always around the holidays.
So not a ton of news. But we'll go through what we have. So the first bit, and this is just kind of a cool looking game, so I figured I'd put it out there. Koei Tecmo is coming out with a Samurai Remnant action RPG.
It sounds fun.
So it looks like it's in the Fate series, Fate Stay Night and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Except
Oh, I know.
somewhat different universe. Koei Tecmo, who does, all the Dynasty Warriors and whatever Warriors, right?
I think everyone's familiar.
Everybody's familiar. So it looks neat. It looks like most of their other stuff, but it looks pretty neat. So I figured, people might want to go check that out. Looks like it's coming out on just PlayStation consoles and the PC. So no X-Brick, no Switch. So anyway, there is a preview out. It is up on the YouTubes, so you can watch it right here on the YouTubes. Go check it out.
YouTubes.
Fate Samurai Remnant. All right. So this is a bit of news that just popped earlier today. Something we've been talking about a lot and wondering about for a lot. Goblin Slayer.
Oh, for
new
Christ's
season.
Every season, I'm like, yeah, I think Goblin Slayer's coming back, and then it doesn't.
I know. We keep hearing it's going to come back, but then it doesn't come back.
Lies.
But now it's coming back. I still don't have a firm date on when it's coming back, but it will be 2023.
Yeah, as long as it's this year, I can wait.
It will be 2023. There is a teaser up again on the YouTube, so you can go check it out. It's got the video. It's a video, but then it's also got the staff and the animation studio, which is Leiden Films, which I'm not particularly familiar with. Yeah, I don't really know what other stuff they were. It doesn't look like it's a ton, but I don't know if it was a ton as the primary. You know how it is. You go to look up an animation studio, and they have 8 billion credits, but half of them are in between animations.
Yeah.
Minor stuff. So
in-betweeners.
Anyway, veteran studio. I don't believe that's the same studio that did the first season. No, it is not. They do not show up at all. So anyway, like I said, previews up on YouTube. Go check it out. And at some point in 2023.
I don't know what the goddamn holdup is. It's not like they don't have the source material.
I know.
Cripes.
It's not like they got through so much of it that they were worried about catching up or something. So,
It's true.
Very strange. All right. Let's just hope the second season of that's better than the second season of Shield Hero.
Yeah, that was kind of disappointing.
Moving on. So this will surprise nobody. Hunter x Hunter is going back on hiatus.
Oh my God, I'm so shocked. This
So
is
it
my
came
shocked
back
voice.
monthly for or weekly? Yeah, weekly for a month or two. Or maybe it was 3 or 4. Okay, that's pretty bad. and then it's back to being on hiatus. So, listen, man, I appreciate a mangaka that can do everything and release stuff. Or I just really wish more of them would just farm out the art. It's okay, especially someone like Togashi. His art is not so exceptional that I care.
Pretty crappy,
especially in the first run. Like it's fine, it's serviceable, but
it's very scribbly.
But his stories are great. So like, could you just split duties? Would that be okay? Like, why can't you just do that? It's just
that's one thing they could learn from the American comic book industry.
Well, and what's one of my favorite manga of all time? Fist of the motherfucking North Star.
Yeah, it was 2 guys.
2 guys.
Buran-san.
Buranson and Tetsuo Ohara. I got some Tetsuo Ohara news here in a bit, too.
Nice.
Some kind of amusing Tetsuo Ohara news, to tell you the truth. But anyway, Hunter x Hunter, back on hiatus. I don't. Again, unless Togashi decides to, like, you know, give up the drawing duties, which I wish he would. I just don't. I don't know that we'll ever see the end of it, which is unfortunate because it's a very good story.
Oh, what is his problem? He needs to like hit the gym or something. He's like always sick.
That's man. How many mangaka is that in Japan? Like
voice actors, like everything. It's just like the most ill industry. Like Jesus Christ.
I don't even know what they mean by sickness. Is like, I was a little tired today. And then you have Oda over here who's just like, no,
Juggernaut.
No, more One Piece, more One Piece. I think he's literally going to just turn to dust once he like puts the last bit of ink to page. He's just going to turn to dust or burst into flames. Like that'll be it. He won't be able to like sustain his mortal form anymore.
My job here is finished.
Yeah, exactly. My job here is done. Just ascend. How can you not make a good Oda joke? God, gotta love some One Piece. I gotta catch up, man. I'm like 300 episodes behind.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
Hard to explain that to people that watch just like American shows. Like, no, I'm 300 episodes behind.
Yeah, it's like a zillion seasons.
Oh, don't worry, I'll catch right up because you know the episodes aren't very long.
Yeah, like 10 minutes long.
Anyway, moving on. Another bit of kind of fun news, which unfortunately won't be able to take part in. But if you were around for Wonder Festival 2023, they're going to recreate the Tokyo International Labor Show, Patlabor style.
Awesome.
So they got what looks like a life-size labor. It's got illustrations and figures and stuff. It looks like a life-size labor. I don't know if it actually is. It's hard to tell scale on this. So
labors aren't that big. So.
They're not as they're like 12 meters instead of 18. That's a lot easier.
Yeah.
It looks pretty freaking cool. And Izubuchi will be on the judging committee.
That's awesome.
Which is awesome because you gotta love Izubuchi for like a bunch of public submissions people did for the exhibit. So you will be judged harshly by it. Nah, Izubuchi seems pretty damn cool. So it's not like you're getting judged by frickin' what's his name from Ghibli? Miyazaki, exactly. Like the terror,
the ultimate hater,
or even like Anno. I don't know. I think he would just be depressed. Or
Oshi.
Oshi is like also scary. Or Tamino for that matter.
Oh God. I don't know what you would get out of Tamino. You just have some like insane rant about something you did.
Something unrelated. Anyway, if you are in the area, it's going to be at Chiba's Makuhari Mess, February 12th.
Oh, sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, so Wonder Festival always has cool figures and models and stuff, so there'll be a lot of news coming out of that. There always is. New figures, stuff like that. But it's just cool. It's just a cool thing. They're recreating the labor show. So if you're a Patlabor fan or a mech fan at all, and you're somehow in the area, go check it out. If not, well, we can look forward to the media that comes out of it. All right, so I did say I had some Tetsuo Ohara news. I do have some Tetsuo Ohara news. So Tetsuo Ohara has done character designs for a McDonald's ad.
That's amazing.
So Tetsuo Ohara, the artist for Fist of the North Star, what he's most known for, he's done a bunch of other stuff too. Awesome illustrator, like really one of my favorites. Really clean, really awesome, super manly artwork. Like, it's like if you like JoJo's, but you like it a little less fabulous. That's Tetsuo Ohara,
he's
right?
Man.
No knock on JoJo's. I understand its strange appeal, but anyway, there are ads, and they streamed both of them, so you can actually see them on YouTube. There's a 15-second and 60-second version with Tetsuo Hara's designs, and they look freaking crazy. So crazy samurai like McDonald's ads. Why
That's
they
hilarious.
exist? I don't know. Who cares?
Right. Do you
Uh,
even need a reason? I don't think so.
No, man. It's all about the difficulties of making choices as an adult. Which, I mean, I think your first choice would probably be to not eat at McDonald's, except for breakfast. I'll allow breakfast.
Yeah. Keep your McDonald's intake to a bare minimum.
Yeah. Otherwise, you probably should. But then again, I have not eaten at a Japanese McDonald's. I bet you it's 100 times better than most American
Quality
McDonald's.
wise, yeah.
For sure.
Oh, it's like anywhere in Europe, man. Food's like so much better. Just quality wise, not necessarily preparation, but
Yeah, or preference-wise,
makes
right?
a huge difference.
Yeah.
Oh god, when I was in Iceland, it's all like fucking sheep's butter, like made right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially a place like that that's isolated, you get a lot of local
God,
stuff.
so good. I mean, just like some of the best food quality I've ever had anywhere.
Yeah, well, you pay for it too, but worth it.
Reindeer steaks, son. Reindeer
Worth
steaks.
Yeah, rotten shark too.
No, I did not come across any rotten shark.
Hey, if you wanted it, it was there.
The weirdest thing I ate was puffin.
Oily, huh?
It
Seems like
tastes
it'd
like
be oily.
liver.
Ugh.
I
thank
mean,
you.
I'm not into liver, but I'll eat it. I just wanted to try it because when
Yeah,
the fuck
why
else
not?
you got to get to eat something that's almost a penguin?
Yeah. Anyway, Tetsuo Hara, go check out these McDonald's ads. They are on the tubes. Freaking crazy. And check out those Lupin ones we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, those are good too.
A lot of McDonald's stuff going on. Coming to McDonald's freaking news channel. All right, so this is some crazy stuff. The Philippines now has a again on YouTube has a trailer out for their live action Voltes V series.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that.
Yeah, we talked about it
maybe
before.
a month ago or something.
And I think the Philippines has done, mecha shows like this before
Probably,
in
yeah.
live action. It looks as glorious as you would expect it to look.
I gotta check it out. It's got to be entertaining.
It's gonna be awesomely hilarious. That's all I'm gonna say.
Full Days V is a bold choice, I would say.
It really is. And I don't. Oh, these costumes, they're freaking great. I just don't know. I don't know how anybody's gonna be able to watch it unless you're in the Philippines and you'll be able to watch it. But I don't know how anybody's gonna be able to watch it. It's coming out this year, but I'm highly doubting anybody in like the West is gonna pick up on it. And I don't know that it'll be big enough for anybody to like fan sub it, but we'll see. We'll have to keep an eye out because I would love to like watch at least a little bit of this.
I bet there's some maniac out there who'll fan sub it.
Well, one can hope. One can hope. Or maybe it just will come out. Maybe it's, you never know. Netflix is pretty desperate for content, man. Like,
Yeah,
it could happen.
I would not doubt it.
And they do bring in stuff from like all over the damn place. Like every like.
Well, I mean,
Random
Asia
country.
is single-handedly like saving their shitty like streaming service. So
They really are.
you'd figure they're scouring for
Between
content.
like all the awesome like Korean shows.
Yeah, mostly Korean anime, really.
Yeah, a couple live action Japanese shows, Alice in Borderland, which we'll talk about, and there've been a couple others. All the Rurouni Kenshin movies that
Yeah.
they pulled over. So
Yep.
yeah, between Japan and Korea, man, it's like single. Well, they put all the Chinese stuff up there, and I suppose if you like that cheesy style of CG filled like sci-fi, Bollywood too, right? And the other Bollywood that's not Bollywood, the other big.
Oh yeah.
I think where RRR came from.
Yeah, I forget what it was called, but
I can't remember, but it's another big production area for
aside from the
entertainment in India.
dance numbers, RRR was like the perfect, like ridiculous action movie.
Yeah, I gotta watch it one of these days, but it's it's a commitment. It's like 3.5 hours.
It was
so.
a level of manliness that you probably haven't seen here since like the 70s or 80s.
I believe it.
Absolutely ridiculous.
India, if nothing else, is manly.
Absurdly manly.
Perhaps, I was gonna say perhaps too much so in some cases. There's a little kind of, they have a little bit of problem with some things. So
stuff that won't get mentioned.
yeah. Anyway, Voltes V, Philippines mega trailer is out. It's on the tubes. Go check it out. And again, keep your fingers crossed. We'll actually get this show because
I don't even
It's gonna
care
be
if
hilarious.
they translate it because I don't really need to know what's happening. I just want to see it. I want to visually take it in.
yeah, for sure. All right. So last bit of news here today. And this is the least surprising bit of news. So Hideo Kojima, who you may remember from such ultra classics as Death Stranding. Oh, I mean Metal Gear Solid, the Metal Gear Solid series. And yes, he also did Death Stranding. I don't mean to shit on Death Stranding. It was a cool idea. Plus, I like the using real actors and having Norman Reedus in it and shit. I will always be sad that Norman Reedus was not instead in a Silent Hill game that Kojima was going to do. Whatever. We won't get into that. So Kojima, again, Metal Gear, has voiced his desire to, become an AI. Much like Elon Musk has said, upload his brain, become an AI after death. So, are you surprised? You don't look surprised.
Nah. I guess if I died, I wouldn't care. I'm pretty happy in my physical body. I don't think I'd want to just be, in the computer.
Do you not die? How does consciousness work? Is it even you? We get all those, Ghost in the Shell kind of questions at that point.
I mean, download your consciousness. Are they just, emptying out the contents of your brain?
I have no idea how it works. Does all the electrical impulses of your brain go into there? I don't know. What if they then make copies? Can they make copies? How does this work?
There's shit in your brain that you don't even know about.
Yes.
Shit you forgot that's still hidden there somewhere. So, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Somebody smarter than me needs to explain this.
These are the deeper questions in life that we're not going to get into right now. But, Kojima-san says, I want to be an AI. I don't even want to know. What I want to say is, I don't even want to know the kind of crazy shit the Kojima-san AI is going to come up with versus what just Kojima now comes up with. 2,000 years from now, as an AI, what kind of shit Kojima would come up with, I don't even know. He's going to rule the goddamn world. Matter of fact, he might be Skynet, so we got to be careful.
Oh, it'd be funny if all these rich assholes were just on servers and they could just go blow them up.
If you want to be a little freaked out, go watch the end, the last cut scene, or the ending, I suppose you could call it, of Metal Gear Solid 2 Guns of the Patriots. Guns of the Patriots? No, Sons of Liberty. Sorry, Guns of the Patriots is 4. Whatever. Sons of Liberty, right?
Deuce.
At the time, I remember watching it and being like, this doesn't make any sense. This is ridiculous. This is nonsense. You watch it now and you're like, oh shit. He was 15, 20 years ahead of the times.
Yep.
So it's wild how on point he was. So he's a bit of a mad genius. And I'm a little terrified of him as an AI. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, sounds a little creepy.
Anyway, on that terrifying note, that is the news.
The news.
All right.
Lucifer and the Lucifer and Biscuit Hammer.
Yes, sir.
That's the way it's translated for some reason. Anyway, it ends how you figure it would end. The satisfying way. There was no twists. There were no turns. Yuhi basically fights Sami Dare till she just gives up because she doesn't actually want to blow up the Earth.
Sure.
And
that's where I live.
She basically just sucks it up and loses her power. And what did she do at the end? Yuhi and the hell's that guy's name? It's been 2 weeks. My brain shut off. All these names were burned in my head too.
Not Animo.
No, Mikazaki.
Yep.
They had, for some reason, after everything was settled, they just have to fight one last time. It's ultra manly. Because basically once Animus was defeated, Anima is basically giving them their powers, so she's gonna fuck off. So all their powers just dissipate, basically. Yeah. So before their powers completely dissipate, they have to settle it once and for all, which is hilarious.
That's funny.
So that was the first half of the episode, and the second half of the episode is basically an epilogue of just
I like when they do that.
Sami Dare gets her mom. I probably mentioned this weeks ago, but her mom finally figures out how to cure her. They never say exactly what's wrong with her. Apparently, it takes many, many surgeries to fix.
Oh, that's
and eventually,
delightful.
So Yuhi's Yuhi's a detective because his dad was a detective. So he's a detective, and he's Sami Dare's over in France because that's where her mother was studying to figure out whatever to fix her.
Sure.
So she's over there getting her last operation. Then the very end is her coming back, and they go through everybody who's still alive, what they're doing. Blah,
yeah,
blah,
very
blah.
Animal House of them.
Yes, exactly.
You gotta love that.
But anyways, a good, super satisfying ending. Happy, if not a little schlocky, but in a good way. So I think they did a good job. A lot of people were like really nervous that it was coming out because it's like it's one of those manga that like people who like it are like really into it.
It's legendary as like a niche kind of thing, right?
Exactly. It had that like super underground popularity. But anyway, I thought they did a good job. I mean, the animation, like the first episode was a little clunky, but I wouldn't. It was good in the rest of it. Like people whined about the color palette. Like fucking get off it. Like I mean, it wasn't that bad.
So
it was very
worth
yellow.
watching.
I mean, they clearly did it on purpose. Yeah, I mean, if you like the manga, or even if you didn't, it's a solid watch. It's like, it's kind of unique. Like, you know how a lot of stuff gets samey.
Yeah.
The standard isekai, blah, 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 dickhead in another world, uncle.
That's
grandpa.
anime in general. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it all gets samey.
Yeah,
after a
so
while.
this is like unique. It's got a nice...
Not always in a bad way. Sometimes it's nice and familiar.
So anyway, that's done. What's that kid's name? Shinobi no Itoki.
Yep.
That's the one. Basically, he had an amazing plan to like set up whoever the traitor was.
Yep.
They figure out who the traitor is. Then him and his posse go to confront the leader of the Koga. And then he has like a crazy, like he wants their ninja core thing that makes you gives you unlimited power. But he makes a suit.
Good to know.
He makes a suit that's almost the same thing that gives him like almost the same level of power. They fight, blah blah blah. He doesn't kill him because he wants to set him up to like get arrested. I guess that's more satisfying.
Was he Batman? Like, what the hell is this shit?
It was very Batman. He's just like, I want to do it by the book. So, I mean, I liked his plan to, like, set up because he really had to convince a lot of people that he was pussing out. So, it was good, though.
So, good ending, bad ending?
Oh, it was good. It was a very solid 12-episode.
Is there more? Or?
I don't know what it's based on. I didn't really look.
Yeah.
I assume it's, like, light novel. It has a light novel feel. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah.
So, they could definitely do more. They wrapped it up pretty tight, though. Like, they don't have to do more. So, but yeah, it was a solid. If you're bored, you want to blast. It's 12 episodes. If you want to like blast through something in an afternoon, like it's a solid watch. I'd recommend it.
Apparently, it's not based on anything.
Whoa, an original animation.
It's just original.
Damn, I didn't even know they did.
I know, right? Like everything's based on a light novel or something.
Yeah, Jesus.
At least I'm not seeing anything about it
Mind blown. Anyway, they could definitely do more
Uh-huh.
though. I don't know how popular it was.
here. Yeah, I don't know. Suppose we'll find out.
Anyway, solid. And that is my two things that ended last week.
So we also have Gundam the Witch from Mercury. So no episode this week, but there was an episode last week. Getting towards the end of the first season.
The climax.
The trap was sprung for the...
Trap was sprang.
So the witches from Earth and the mercenary group from Earth, I think, was hired by... that kid whose name I can never remember. I don't know. He's the blonde kid.
Beautiful girl.
Beautiful girl hair. Who's operating ostensibly on behalf of JUJUTSU's old man.
Yeah.
Who's just a total piece of crap and is going to get completely played.
Yeah, he's like the dumb rube that thinks he's like super crafty, but there's like, going to be a guy above him pulling the strings.
It's not going to end well. I think that blonde kid is going to be like the Paptimus of the show.
Yeah, it seems so. They're doing a very good job of keeping all the stereotypical Gundam characters.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's like super different, they did a good job. Like, oh no, there's some like super obnoxious little girl pilots from Earth. I'm so surprised.
Yeah, right. So anyway, you got Suletta, who's, I don't know, like being autistic as usual, feeling super bummed that like nobody likes me. I'm just a bird. And everyone's like, no, man, it's all good. Like, there's no problems. What's your problem?
Yep.
She's just being a complete weirdo. I mean, there's some reason there, but it's like any normal person would be acting that way. So anyway, she reconciles with what's her face? Her bride. I can't remember her name. Sorry, you watch too many anime shows. You can't remember everybody's goddamn name. It's a curse.
It's been 2 weeks. If there was an episode this week, I would remember.
It has been. It has been 2 weeks. So anyway, the episode basically ends on a cliffhanger where like the base that they're on getting attacked. They're about to get the Gundam back. It looks like it's got some upgrades by the quick shot you saw of it. It's all basically, this is a setup episode. Let me be clear. This is a setup episode with not much going on to start, and then like it's the prologue for the next episode, which is going to have all the action. So a necessary episode, an okay episode. Next episode will be the good one. So
next week, action.
There'll be something to talk about, and probably the last show from this season we'll have to talk about. Because the other thing we have to talk about today, Chainsaw Man. Well, besides Legend of Galactic Heroes, which we'll get to next season. Chainsaw Man is done for the season, and that was the finale. The finale was extremely satisfying and ridiculous.
Yep.
It ends with a guy getting kicked in the junk repeatedly. Well deserved, by the way.
God,
I won't
so
even say
funny.
who, so I don't spoil it, because it's a very satisfying ending. You get a wrap up of it's kind of like the whole first arc is, Denji getting his powers plus that original like zombie Yakuza demon, right? Like the zombie making Yakuza demon. This is all fallout from that. This is like his crew and his related people who are also working on behalf of the Gun Devil. So maybe that zombie making Yakuza dude was also working for the Gun Devil.
You would assume.
Probably.
How else would the Yakuza get guns? Really?
This kind of wraps up that whole arc because this all ties into that. Because a lot of it's about revenge for Denji killing that guy in the first episode. It was the first episode, not the second. Or was it the second? Regardless, either way, it was one of the first episodes.
The beginning of the season.
At the very beginning of the season. Yeah, exactly. It's a good wrap up. There's good character building. I don't want to say too much about it because there's a lot of spoilers because it's the wrap up for the season. It's an excellent episode. The whole season. Watch Chainsaw Man. I mean, that's all I could say. There's been some complaining for people who really like the manga. Oh, it's not the same. It's not this, not. Just watch Chainsaw Man. The anime is great. Just watch it. Don't worry.
If you're really that concerned, just read the manga.
Yeah, go read the manga.
Is it that big of a deal?
Yeah. Anyway, it's good stuff. But it is done for the season, unfortunately. So now, next week, hopefully we'll have some new stuff. I honestly haven't even looked at the preview. It's the winter season, so I fear there's not going to be much good.
Usually lean.
Yeah, so like I said, we still have
slim pickings.
We still have almost a full season of Legend of Galactic Heroes to go through. We talked about the one episode, which was kind of the wrap up episode from
it really
the
was.
cliffhanger wrap up from last season when we talked about it. So we'll get into that a bit. But the next thing I know that's really coming out is what, Demon Slayer in April.
Yeah, I think so.
And then Jujutsu Kaisen, I think, is July. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway. That's all the stuff.
That's that.
All right, let's talk about Jujutsu Kaisen 0. So, for anybody who's wondering what the hell, well, Jujutsu Kaisen, there's 24 to 26 episodes of it out already.
Yeah.
It's a great show. It's pretty standard shonen. But it's one of the ones that popped off for a reason, right? Like it's got something a little special going on. I mean, it's your classic, like, oh, we're hunting demons in modern day. Like this story has been done 100 times before, right? There's a high school for the kids that hunt the demons and whatever.
Blah, blah, blah.
Granted, there's like 4 people in that high school, so it's kind of funny.
You've heard it all before.
You've heard it all before, but that's not what makes it special, right? The characters and the way it's written is what makes it special. So go check that out. I highly recommend Jujutsu Kaisen in general. And then the movie, it's like, okay, well, they're doing a prequel, obviously. It's 0, so it's going to be a prequel. It was kind of hard to figure out what were they going to focus on. Was it going to be the origin story for for Mr. Eyes there? What the hell is his name? Not Yuta, because he's the main character of this. Is it Toge or whatever? Gojo.
Yes.
Or there's Gojo and Geto, right? So there's 2 plots going on basically. So there's Gojo, he's the guy with the frickin' with the eye powers from the first season. he's always got like a band around his eyes or glasses on because he's got like all the powers. Yeah. Anyway, it also you also got here. Sorry, I'm pulling this all together. Suguru, Geto. So that's the other. It's hard. Geto and Gojo. So he's a character they just introduced for this prequel, right? So Gojo, he's in Jujutsu Kaisen. He's like one of the teachers. He's super powerful. They show how awesome he is, but he's a weirdo and he's funny, right? Good character. And then you have Geto, who's the his friend from high school, but then he went evil, and now he's working with curses and demons, and it's not good. It's very, very bad, right? Well, I guess they're all curses. They look like demons. They're just curses. Whatever. So you have their friendship, and it explores that a bit, and how it went wrong, and now one's the primary villain, so that's a problem. And then you also have Yuta, who is the primary character in this, who is sure not appearing in the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen.
This whole movie is basically to introduce him as a character.
So you get a ton of the characters from the first season because you get all like the second and third year students. It's not like you get a ton of them. So don't get me wrong. It was a little tough because if you haven't watched the first season right before, you're like, I gotta remember who these people are again.
Yeah, it took me a while to really like.
I mean, when it's the
out.
panda, it's easy. Or the kid who only speaks in like sushi ingredients. That's easy.
Oh no, it's rice ball ingredients.
Rice ball ingredients. Either way, very easy to figure that out. Right? Like, I remember these people, but then some of the other ones are not as easy. But the reason they do this is because this is the story of a character that will be appearing in the next season. So I went and looked that up. That makes sense. So the story focuses on Yuta, who doesn't have. So most of the people that fight spirits in Jujutsu Kaisen, they have some sort of either bloodline that lets them have powers to fight curses, or they picked up power somewhere along the way. Like the main character in the series, like ate the freaking cursed fingers and got mad power, and he's like super strong. He's very much what's his face from Black Clover, right? Asta, right? Like similar. He's just the strong guy who gains power in other ways. Yuta in this, it's interesting because he has powers because there was a curse. I'm not going to say because I don't want to give it away, but there's a curse between him and his childhood friend who got killed when they were kids, and they were, friends, like, hey, we're going to get married someday, all this stuff, little kid stuff, but still, I mean, they were very, very close. She gets killed, turns into a curse. Now, who cursed who and how all that worked, hey, I won't spoil that, but she's a curse, and she's like the most powerful curse for some reason. Yeah. And they suspect it's because the curse is based on love and not hate or something else. So the curse is just like super powerful. So instead of being a curse that like is a curse on him, Yuta, right? It actually loves him and will do
anything to protect him.
Do anything to protect him, including, dicing and juicing people that are bullying him and all sorts of stuff, right?
Do not mess with Yuta.
So anyway, I'm not going to get too much into the plot because there's not a lot going on in the plot, because it's pretty much Yuta learning how to control that curse, coming to terms with it, figuring out, is it too powerful? What's going to happen if it goes out of control? Because at one point it does, and does a lot of work, but then what if it doesn't come back in next time and you can't rein it in?
And he's trying to, they're trying to teach him how to, use a little bit of its power, in a sword.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to depend on her coming out to wreck shit up.
They try a lot of things.
Because they have no idea if he can, really control it if it goes,
if it goes out of control.
Yeah,
they don't want to have to, kill him and kill it and all that stuff. And then Geto, the main villain, it's him and his crew. Basically, we're going to unleash the night of 1,000 demons, and we're going to do all this stuff. And what he really wants, though, is Yuta's curse, which is Rika, his childhood friend there. So he wants that curse. He wants it because he collects curses, and you see him do it. He's basically started a business to free people from curses, not because he likes people. He hates them. He thinks we're all monkeys, but to steal their curses and add to his own power, because he can then store them and unleash them.
Yeah.
So
pretty good power, actually.
It's a pretty good power. It's pretty powerful. Powerful power. So anyway, that's what it is. That's basically what happens. It gives you a good backstory for Yuta. he'll be an interesting character in the next season. It gives you some good background on Gojo, Satoru, and Suguru, whatever. It gives you good background on him, kind of a little bit of origin on him, but not really. It doesn't really give you a lot of meat on that bone. So don't expect it to be an origin story for Satoru. It is not. It is not at all. It just gives you some background. And then, like I said, there's a whole lot of good cameos of people from the series. So what do you think? What were your general impressions?
It was good. I like when they do the movie. It was like the Dr. Stone movie, just wets your whistle,
Yeah.
Just like that little bit in between just to keep you thinking about it.
What's interesting to me is it was one of the highest grossing anime movies last year, and I think it might have been the highest. I can't remember. It was either it or One Piece Red. I'm not that hype about it. It's good. It's fine.
It was the same as Mugen Train, where it was just like several episodes of the series stuck together.
It's like Mugen Train, but not as pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
And not as nowhere near as emotional. Oh God, Mugen Train. Mugen Train tears your goddamn heart out. This does not. I mean, a little bit. I shouldn't say it does not, because it does a little, but not really. That ending's pretty satisfying.
Yeah,
like it's not really all that sad. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's good though. So I don't want to sound tepid on it, because
no, it was really good. It's just for all the hype it got, I didn't think it was mind-blowingly amazing.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. Jujutsu Kaisen in general is great, and it's more of that. That's great. It is better looking than the series in general. Not a ton, but it is. That's cool. You get some good backstory. I mean, it's fine. It exists. It's fine. It is recommended. Don't expect it to be as good as Mugen Train. I suppose that's my takeaway.
It's like less than Mugen Train, more than the Dr. Stone movie.
Yeah, the Dr. Stone movie really does just feel like 2 or 3 episodes jammed together. I love it. It's great, but it's just more of the series, right?
Yeah.
This does feel like a standalone thing. It does feel a little more special. So, yeah, I'm with you. That's pretty much where it's at. It's in between those two.
It was good, though.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I was glad I finally
recommend
got to
it.
see it.
I mean, I would not watch it without watching that first season of the series first. And honestly, if you haven't seen the first season of the series, you'll be better off, because you'll be able to, you'll know who all the characters are, and you'll be able to piece it all together.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you're like me and haven't watched it in a year or whatever.
Yeah, it does take a while to like, who the hell are these people?
It's hard to remember sometimes. Like, who? Oh, I remember now. Because as I said to start this off, like, it gets a little samey. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
just not Jujutsu Kaisen, but I mean
all those shows.
Like, how do the rules work in this show again? I got to remember, because when you just watch a different show that's got similar rules, it's hard to friggin' remember. So, anyway, that is that. Anything else you want to say about Jujutsu Kaisen 0?
Nope. Pretty much sums it up.
All right, so I guess I will pontificate a little bit on Alice in Borderland. So this is a show. So we had watched like one episode.
Yeah, I watched like the first episode.
Right when it came out, which was last year sometime.
It was very similar to something I just watched, and I was just like, whatever.
It felt like it was going to get a little too smart for its own good. One of those like, oh, it's puzzles and they're going to kill you kind of shows. Kind of like Squid Game, but not quite.
It felt kind of like Gantz.
A little Gantz, yeah. It definitely had a little bit of a Gantz feel for sure. And I don't hate Gantz, but I'm not big into Gantz. Plus, it's a mess. I don't even know where the hell you start. Right. So we watched one episode and went, whatever. So then, I don't know, over the break, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to try to give this a roll again. Because the second season had just come out, and people were kind of popping off about it. So I said, I'll give it another try. Because I didn't hate it. It was just like, it's not worth my time, right? It wasn't worth it. So went back, rewatched it, watched the first season. It's actually pretty damn good. I got to say, is it the best thing ever? No. Is it as good as Squid Game standalone? No, it is not. I don't think it is anyway. But does it have does it have something wackier going on than I think is going on in Squid Game? Yes. Are some of the mysteries more intriguing? Yes, although I have a feeling I know what the answer is, which will be sad. Anyway, so what the hell is Alice in Borderland about? So it is a manga, or a light novel. I think it's a manga. It's a manga, and it also was an anime. I have not seen the anime. So I am talking only about the live action show it's a quote unquote Netflix show, but it's a Japanese produced, Japanese directed show. It's not as far as I could tell, it's not a Netflix had no real interference in it. Right?
Zero white people.
It's not Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, it's in Japanese. It is subtitled. Like it is not. Yeah, it's not that. I think they also have a dub, but what are you doing? So it's got to feel like if you know anything about Cube, remember Cube?
Yep.
Or even Battle Royale or Squid Game. I mean, at this point, you say Squid Game, it's got a similar kind of feel.
Cube 3, Hypercube.
So basically, people it's hard to tell what happens, right? Either everybody else in the world got whisked away, so it's in Tokyo, and then everybody disappears except for like the characters that are in the show. So there's no other people, and it's hard to tell whether all the people disappeared or whether these people got like whisked away to like an alternate reality that's physically identical but is missing all the people. It's hard to figure out what the hell's going on there, right? And I think I know the answer to that, but I'm not gonna say my speculation here. We'll wait on that because it could be solved in the second season, and then I don't want to be the asshole who just gives out the spoiler. So the main character in this is Arasu. So he's a NEET, right? He comes from this well-to-do family, and his brother, went to college, works, makes money. His old man, looks like he's some type of executive or something. But he's just a disappointment. He's a NEET. He doesn't do anything of value. He just plays video games all day.
What should?
And he's got two friends. He's got what the hell are his friends' names?
Oh, NEETs are supposed to have friends. What the hell?
Yeah, Chota and Karube. So Chota, who's an IT tech, so he's got a job, but his mother's like a very cultish, like that. It's one of those like evangelical style cultish Asian Christian offshoots, right? Vaguely Christian offshoots, and he has to give like a bunch of money to his mother. So he's kind of a misfit. You know what I mean? He's a bit of a misfit in that way, just like Arasu is, because he's always broke, and he's his mother's there's some religious cult weirdness going on. So you got that. They got Karube, who's just kind of like your average tough guy who's just like he works in a bar, and then he gets fired from the bar because he's making time with the other bartender who's the owner's girlfriend, but maybe not. Who knows? He just gets kicked out of the bar. So anyway, they'll decide to go and hang out in a bar, not the bar he got fired from, and they end up in a stall, like a much bigger stall, in a bathroom because they're hiding from the cops. Because just some silliness. It wasn't anything that bad. They weren't like killing people or anything.
This guy's like a bad NEET.
Yeah, he's a bad NEET.
He's the kind that goes out to bars.
So anyway,
has friends. They're
hanging out in this cube, waiting for like the cops to go away, and then the lights go out and they come back on, and then everybody's gone, right? And as I said earlier, everybody is gone here. Like there's people. So the characters here that exist in this alternate reality or in reality or that are left or whatever, maybe everyone's got raptured away, are there. And there's not like car accidents in the streets or stuff that makes it look like, an emergency happened. Like there's cars and they're abandoned, but they're just like stopped and they're just in the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just weird. It's definitely got an eerie feeling. Anyway, they get directed. They sit around till nighttime and no one else is around. The three friends there, Chota and Karube and Arasu, and they signs come up to like go play this game. So they go into this it's like an apartment complex to play this game, or a building. It's hard to tell what. I mean, Japan has a lot of square ass tall buildings. It's an apartment complex, or like a tradesman unit or whatever you want to have. They go there to play these games, so they pick up phones, and it's their phones don't work. Like there's no signal, no GPS, no nothing. Batteries don't work. Like technology is wiped out, but these phones work. And then there's other people here to play the game too. These people, one of them is brand new and doesn't know what's going on, just like them. But one of them like has been around a little bit, and talks, tries to talk them through it. Who's, she's kind of awful. But anyway, I won't get into her character much because she honestly doesn't last too long in the series. So anyway, they play these games. The games have deadly consequences. Apparently, you find out there's more than one type of game, and it's all based on cards. So there's like
I remember
5
the
of
cards.
clubs and 7 of spades and whatever. And like spades are physical tests, and clubs are team games, like cooperation games, and hearts are horrific, like twist your emotions and betray all your friends games, and diamonds are mind games, right? Like puzzles and riddles and such.
Yeah.
So they go and play the first game, and the main characters live, but at least the one girl they're with dies. And then they realize at the end, like, they get a guy gets killed right in front of them with a laser from the sky.
Oh, Jesus.
And they realize that they've been given a pass. So they beat this game. It's a 3 of clubs game. And they have 3 days visa. So they have 3 days where they can not have to play a game again. But if you don't play a game again by the end of that 3rd night, you will get lasered from the sky and you will die.
Fucking sky lasers.
So you have to keep playing games to keep your visa going. And they don't really tell you much about why. There's not a lot of information there. So then more and more characters get introduced here and there because they play different, they have to play different games, and you get more side characters. And you get what becomes the other main character, Yuzuha Usagi. So Usagi, who's this girl whose father was like a mountain climber, and she's all into mountain climbing and parkour, and she's just ridiculous.
Parkour.
She does all the ridiculous like physical stuff, right? And eventually it ends up that Arisu and her are kind of the main characters hooked up together to try to figure out what the hell's going on. So they get a clue about a place called the beach. And they're trying to figure out what the hell's the beach. They finally figure out what the hell the beach is, and it's a hotel that's been converted into like a sanctuary for all the different people playing the game. And they like collaborate together. They've gathered guns, they've gathered supplies, and there's hundreds of people here. They collaborate together to beat the games and collect the cards. And the guy running the beach, Hatter, he surmises that if you collect all the cards, like one of each card, you can do something. You can escape the game, you could go somewhere. Like,
makes sense.
And you find out there that they have a bunch of cards, but they still need some more, and they don't have any face cards. No face card games have shown up yet.
Huh.
So ace games have shown up because those are 1, right? So the number on the cards is the difficulty. I saw the types.
Makes
anyway,
sense.
I'm just rambling on now. Stuff happens at the beach. The intrigue at the beach kind of overwhelms the game aspect. So it's smart in that they don't just stick with games being the primary thing.
Yeah.
It becomes more
that'll
of
get kind of boring, yeah.
How do you deal with like all this other stuff going on at the beach? And then there's other characters like what the hell's his name here? Chishiya? I can't pronounce it. But Kuina, who are like, they're kind of working their own angle at the beach, and they want to steal the cards, and they don't trust Hatter, and there's other factions at the beach with like Aguni, who's like the most ridiculous badass. He's the guy who punches a tiger. It gets very anime at some point where they're playing one game and friggin' Aguni like shoots a tiger and then it charges him and he punches it and he doesn't die.
Gotta finish it off.
It's ridiculous. There's a guy with a samurai sword. Like,
of course there is.
It gets silly as you would expect, but I like that. So anyway, general thoughts. Excellent first season. You got to stick with it a little bit. Episodes are 45-ish minutes, so they're not too long. They don't overstay their welcome. Characters are interesting. Like I said, get through that first episode like we failed on the first time.
Yep.
And then stick it out because it gets very interesting because of the different factions and, whatever the hell the mystery is. And the plot actually advances well, and there's enough intrigue there. And I'm really, really looking forward to the second season of this. Like, it's well made. It's, the effects are good enough. Some of the tigers and animal effects are pretty bad. But
Yeah.
There's a panther at another point that's pretty bad. But and some of the games are just like a lot of these things. Like, supposedly there's a way you can win every game without anybody dying. But most of them, human nature, people are going to die. It's sometimes the game design is like, how are you ever really supposed to figure this out? Like sometimes it's obvious. It's like, oh yeah, this could be the solution. You could see yourself figuring it out. Sometimes it's like, I don't know about this one.
This is like those Sherlock Holmes games.
Oh yeah. Have you ever played those games in a box where you're like figure this stuff out? Like Sherlock Holmes figured this out in like 3 steps. Like, oh, get out of here. He was coked up in the corner. I don't want to hear about it.
That game is super fun, but some of them is just like, what the hell? There's
Anyway,
no way I could have got that.
That's my rambling on Alice in Borderland. I recommend the first season. I'm gonna watch the second season. I reserve the right to retract my recommendation if the second season's crap, but second season looks like it's the entire same creative team, and it's also Japanese made and looks unmolested by
the West in general,
by Netflix. So hopefully it'll also be good. And I haven't read anything about it because I really want to keep it there. Oh, the other good thing is it's only 8 episodes a season.
Yeah.
So it doesn't overstay its welcome. That was one of the bitches I had with All of Us Are Dead. 12 episodes an hour each was just too much.
Too much.
Anyway, if you're a fan of, especially if you're a fan of something like Squid Game, go check this out. Go check out Alice in Borderland. It's really cool. Anyway, I've rambled a lot.
Moving on.
And we got to move on to the end of Evangelion. No, not the end of Evangelion. Well, actually, the real end of Evangelion.
Third time's a charm.
Thrice upon a time. Rebuild of Evangelion. Evangelion 1.11. You are not alone. So, Evangelion, 90s show. Highly acclaimed, but pretty much everybody realized the ending. There's some Sims that don't, but realized the ending was kind of like garbage.
Just made up crap.
You can get existential about it, and that's okay.
Anno said it was made up crap. Like, you can
they ran out of money.
Extrapolate whatever garbage you want out of that. But the man who did it said he ran out of money and ran out of ideas.
It took him a long time to figure it out, and we'll get to it. But I mean, I really think he figured it out because he just stole that shit from Mizubuchi.
It is the obvious ending. I mean, come on.
It is the obvious ending. So this really remakes the first 6 episodes of the series. And then you got End of Evangelion, which was a remake of the end. So he did he redid the end.
That was try number 2. End of Evangelion,
and it was better, but it wasn't great.
It was an ending, but he still didn't know what he wanted to do.
It wasn't great. Rebuild of Evangelion. So this one is not. It's substantially different. But it's not like different. Once you get to like the last 2 movies, it is wild. It gets completely different from anything in the series.
In this one, he does a really great job of editing out all the dumb shit that I didn't like the first time.
Yes.
Just like, how many more episodes of Shinji whining do I need? Like, no, they get that done nice and fast.
Yes.
Cut to the chase.
And to be clear, this is not lifted straight out of it, right? Like, things are rearranged. Characters are changed up a little bit. Like, they're not all identical.
A lot of swank new digital backgrounds.
The whole thing, they actually were not allowed to use any animation. So this is completely newly animated.
Yeah.
Even though some of it might look, I mean, shot for shot, it's the same.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of the stuff is identical.
It looks the same, but it is not. Like, they originally thought they were going to be able to, but they were not allowed to use it. So they had to redo everything.
There's a ton of scenes that you, like, they're identical except, like, the background's super digital. Like,
it makes some sense. Well, there's a lot of scenes that are identical to Ideon, too, but we won't talk about that, Anno. Anyway. Right. He can pay homage to Tamino all he wants. Anyway, if you're not aware of Evangelion, I mean, I don't crawl out from under your rock, but it's the story of Shinji Ikari, whose father is a maniacal asshole.
Mad scientist, maniacal asshole,
who makes
terrible father.
Giant, quote-unquote, robots, which in that mystery is not kept for very long, so I don't think you're spoiling it anymore, that they're not really robots. That have to be piloted to fight angels, which look like the biblical explanation of angels in some cases, which is freaky as all hell if you ever look into that.
Yeah, pretty creepy.
And they're attacking Earth. And Earth has already been, like, second impact has happened, and Earth is already, like, half the population got killed. There's the oceans are red as blood. Like, wild stuff has already happened, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's craters all over the place, and now these angels are coming to kill humanity, destroy the earth, reset everything. Allegedly, it's because humans ate from the tree of knowledge, so now we got to get killed. I don't know why it took this long for them to get around to doing it. Who knows? we'll find out in the later movies, kind of, maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
That's like Evangelion is a lot like the video version of like Dark Souls, where like, huh, what? Oh, can we explain this? You gotta like look up some communities, like talk to people, like read some supplemental material. You might figure it out. Anyway, story of Shinji, who's, you know, tagged by his father, destined by fate, whatever, to pilot Ava Unit 1 and take out the angels. So that's what he does. This deals with basically 3 angel attacks, the 4th, 5th, and 6th angels, and how Shinji deals with that, how he deals with, you know, he's a bit of a loner, how he deals with integrating into society, well, whatever's left of society, and dealing with other kids.
He's kind of a pussy.
How he deals with Masato, who's the maniac, young, very attractive girl who, by young, I mean, Shinji's like 14. She's like, you know, 25. Attractive girl who's
Kind of a surrogate mother now.
kind of surrogate girlfriend, but kind of mother, but also his boss.
She has to wear a lot of hats.
She's like the tactical, not like a general, but like the tactical leader for NERV, which is the organization that is not even working with the Japanese military, like basically ensuring that the angels don't kill us, because the Japanese military
throws everything they have, they fail, and then NERV comes in. It's like think the JSDF and Godzilla. Like, they maser tank the shit out of it, it does nothing, and then
it's like, oh, get the Super X1, we got to do some work.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Send in Mecha Godzilla.
And then you get the mecha stuff. So you got Rei and Ami. I mean, you look these names up. If you're not familiar with this, you look these names up, you're like, oh, I've seen figures of that. I've seen this. I've seen art of this. Like, Evangelion is a friggin' phenomenon. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll stop talking about the plot, because honestly, most people know about it, and just go watch it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's an obvious recommend, and it's an obvious thing to watch. And I assure you that this time he gets the ending right. The ending of 3.0 plus 1.0 or whatever is good. It's a good ending. It's a satisfying ending. So you will not get let down. Like you probably were.
There'll be no burnination like the first 2 tries.
Yeah. So anyway, what are your thoughts?
Like I said before, I like how they edited it down. There was way too much time spent with Shinji whining, and it got really, like, you get the point.
So I mean, his character is better in this.
You actually, like, in the original, I did not feel bad for him because he was annoying. In this one, you feel bad for him because he's like, the pace is faster, so he's thrown into it. Like, his dad's an asshole. He doesn't have any friends. What's his face beats the crap out of him for like almost killing his sister, even though he was saving everybody. So he just like, he can't catch a break, and you know, everybody's riding his ass. He's got to do this thing that, like, I mean, everybody thinks it's great to pilot a giant robot, but in this case, not so fun. It's like being a dreadnought in Warhammer, kind of.
Yeah, it's not fun. Like, he gets bad things happen. Like, you're immersed in fluid that you have to breathe, and then like it's basically boiling at one point.
And he's like breathing in this boiling like amniotic fluid. It's like not fun.
Awful. Symbolism is crazy. Christian symbolism all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, his angels and that whole bit.
Yeah, so. And like not just Christian stuff, like kind of I definitely get a lot of that Kabbalah stuff and like Jewish mysticism,
Gnostic and
there's all sorts of like interesting things woven in there. It's not, the original felt more like it was just a lift of like Christianity. He definitely did a better job of weaving in like the weird mystical stuff.
In the first one, he said he just picked it because it looked cool. But I think he went back and like did some actual research and like, you know, did it properly this time.
It feels that way.
Which it took him fucking long enough, so, you know, he had to be doing something.
No, I mean, this is his masterpiece. And unlike someone, you know, Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, unlike George R.R. Martin, who like can't even finish it one time. Like, Anno like kept refining to get it right. So
I respect his tenacity. He just kept doing it till it worked.
Yeah, I mean,
it always made enough money to like garner the interest, which was nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, God, back in like what, 96 or whenever when I
96 thing when it came out.
I think I watched it in 98. That's when the dub came out or whatever over here.
Yeah.
I remember buying the box set. I probably still have it somewhere. But anyway, I never thought it would get done properly. I just remember being pissed off. And then I remember when the movies came out, like the
Rebirth and End of Evangelion.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna get it
Death and
done now,
Rebirth.
and it's just like, why is Shinji jacking it everywhere? Like, what's going on? Like
that second ending.
This is stupid.
Why did everybody turn into fluid? Like, this is dumb.
And then I completely gave up on it. And then when I heard they were doing the movies and he was just gonna like
do it again,
completely redo the whole ending again, I was like, third time's the charm. And it was. It was actually a charm.
So I mean, plot wise, the plot is almost the same as those first 6
episodes. It's just way tighter, way more fun to watch. That's my takeaway, basically.
Well, and the characters are better. Like you said about Shinji, that kind of applies across the board. I feel like the character motivations make more sense. I mean, his fathers don't quite yet. They will later. But
it's just so much more finely tuned.
You
know what I mean? Like, the original series was so sloppy.
It really is. Which makes sense.
Like, it was a good idea. It's just like, man, you need to edit that shit. Where's your editor at?
So anyway, animation's great. It's got some, I'm not going to say dodgy CG, but some.
The problem is
they
only finished them a couple of years ago, but like the first movie is from like 2015 or 14.
2009.
Holy shit, it's that old. Anyway, that's why some of the digital animation looks a little dodgy.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. 2007.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Feels like an eternity.
And I waited forever. Like, you had watched it at the time. I'm like, I refuse to watch these until they're all out.
I watched the first two.
Yeah, because there was the first two came out kind of soon after each other.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, he's trucking. I'll do two. And then nothing.
It took a while for that third one. And then it took a while for that last one.
I didn't watch the third one.
We did Godzilla in the middle.
Out. Yeah.
So anyway, there's some dodgy, like I said, CG, but it's not like the Avas aren't. Like, the Avas are hand drawn.
Yeah, it's just like backgrounds. Like,
it's backgrounds. And
I remember one scene of Minato and Ritsuko. Is that her name? The scientist chick. It's Ritsuko.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like they were walking, and there was like these like this like bank of like machinery or whatever next to them that was like moving. And it's like super CG. Like, it just jumps out at you. It's like, oh crap.
Most of the time it's fine because it's like digital displays and stuff and Nerve, and that looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's the third angel, but it's the sixth angel or whatever, because they start with the fourth.
Yeah.
The sixth angel, I like how they did it. It's CG, but I think the CG is not the best CG, but I think it's meant to look weird.
Yeah.
So it works. Like, it plays to the strengths of CG. Its weirdness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it kept refolding itself.
Oh, yeah. No, that actually looks super, super good.
That was really cool. So, yeah, it's well done. It's well directed. It's got interesting characters now, right?
Yeah.
The plot, like I said, it's the basic plot for the first 6 episodes, but finely tuned. A lot of mysteries. It's going to make you want to watch the second one immediately.
Which luckily you can.
Which will make you want to watch the third immediately and the fourth. So it is a thing you could probably want to binge in a day. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's under an hour and 20 minutes. Matter of fact, it's barely over an hour and a half. I mean, under 120 minutes. It's under 2 hours. It's just barely over an hour and a half. And it's well done. And it's currently, at least in America, all 4 of the movies are still available on Amazon Prime. So I don't know. I highly recommend them. All of them. Check them out. Spoilers, because we're going to do all 4 of them one a week. But the first one, at least give the first one a try. Because if you don't like it, fine, just tap out. But the first one, if it gets you interested, you're going to want to check out the rest of them for sure.
Absolutely. And it's like glorious catharsis from waiting for over 20 years.
If you were a long-suffering Evangelion fan, yes. And if you want that original experience, you know what? Start. If you really want to like get in on Evangelion, watch the original series and go, what the hell? And then watch Death and Rebirth and End of Evangelion and go, maybe. And then watch this and go, oh, Anno, my bro, you finally got it right.
Yep. At least he put the work in.
He did. I got a lot of respect for the man.
So, next week, 2.22?
2.22. It's 2.22 and 3.33.
And then they get wild.
And then it's 3.0 was 1.0. When it first came out, it was 1.01.
Yeah, I don't
think.
remember.
I don't know. Don't
Mark
worry
1,
about
Mod 0.
it. Don't worry about it.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, that's it. As usual, have a fantastic week. We'll catch you next time. Don't trust the government. NFTs are a scam. All right, that's it.
That's all I got.
There's no extra scams this week.
Peace. Well, that's all for today, everyone. We'd like to thank all of you for tuning into another episode of the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour. Please remember to like and subscribe, and may your entertainment be always, well, entertaining.